Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's Mikey Wine here, aka Gundam Morning Works, and we are live again for a recap of recent. Last weekend we had the Seattle IPMS annual spring show, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, and then discuss what's next for me in this room, in my hobby room here. Doing some deconstruction, some destruction, and construction. So, talk about that in a minute. Let's go to the comments here. Hey, what's up, Nick? Nick's in the house. How you doing, buddy? First one in. Good to have you, as always. And yeah, so last weekend we had Seattle IPMS, and it was way, way better than last year. As far as the number of entries, and the skill level has just gone way, way up. I entered 5 kits. I finished the Max Battleroid like the day or two before the event, and so I entered that, and it got knocked over during the show and broke off one of the missile pods on it, so I had to fix that. But no big deals. It was easy fix. Kind of disappointed in that, but at least the judges were they actually said to me, they go, we're just going to pretend that didn't, that's not there because we saw it before. Somebody just ended up knocking it over, and then we find out later it might have been even one of the judges that knocked it over. We don't know, but there was one of the guys walking around with a pen, and he was kind of like pointing things out on the model kits with a pen, and actually tapping on the kits, and one of my friends saw it happen, and so it was a possibility they got knocked over. We don't know. But either way, I didn't place in any categories. I entered 5 kits. I entered the Super Jerry, the M1A1 Abrams, and let's see, the Max Battleroid, the Quaidlin Rowe, and the, what else am I missing? Oh, Super Jerry, said that, right? Super Jerry Tank, Quaidlin Rowe. Oh, and the Tomahawk. So didn't place. I got 2 honorable mentions for the Super Jerry and the Max Battleroid. But other than that, big old fat 0, just like last year. No big deals. Whatever. It is what it is. I think I was there as a consultant for the Gundam categories. The guys were, asking me some questions. The judges were asking stuff because they kind of muddled their Gundam categories together, and I had to kind of explain to the judges early on. It was like, you got Gundam 144 modified and 144 stock, and then you had 1/100 modified or above and modified, and then 1/100 stock, and then they had a category called Gundam Mecha, and I thought it was kind of confusing because it said Gundam first and then Mecha when it really just said Mecha. And I told him, I said, it's either Gundam or it's Mecha. It's not both. If you got these 2 Gundam categories that cover everything, then you can't have, and sure enough, there was somebody setting his kit up going, well, this is a third party kit. It's not Bandai. And I said, that doesn't matter. It's Gundam. It doesn't have to be Bandai. It doesn't have to be, it could be anything you want. But if it's Gundam, it goes in the Gundam category. And then I ended up helping him out in the long run because he would have had the wrong competition. He did better in the category we put him in. So anyway, that's what happened there. So there was a lot. I put up a lot of pictures. I took as many pictures as I could. I did a live stream for a little bit and tried to show everything. I had to kind of run through pretty quickly on all the tables, but some of the guys in this room, I'm not sure. Nick, did you get a chance to watch that live when I was doing it? I can't remember. I know George popped in, and there was a couple other people from another chat group that I belong to that popped in and were looking at some of the stuff I was showing as I walked through. But it was still pretty crowded. By the time I got to do the live stream, there were still more kids coming in, but there was still just, the room was packed. It's a 15,000 square foot hall or gymnasium that they use, and just a massive room. What's up, Julius? Hey, George. How you guys doing? Driving and listening, huh? I wonder where you're going. Are you coming home? Are you coming home from work, or whatever? I mean, it's pretty late for you for work. It's got to be something else. But anyway, just talking about IPMS, it was way better than the year before. And as far as the judging and stuff like that, I didn't enter any kind of category, so I can't really go into too much there. I did see some of the winners, and I think, to be quite honest, the Oregon State, the Sleeves group down there, called the Sleeves, they're an Oregon gunpla group down there. They pretty much walked up here and wiped our asses with the floor. They had some really crazy. Oh, you were just watching the live show. Nice. Yeah, there's one. I think the one that won. I didn't stay around to see who got like the best of categories. We were packing our stuff up at the end there. But the guy that won, I'm pretty sure it won. He got first and second. He had a PG Zaku that was just amazing. A Char Zaku. It was awesome. But he also had I think it was 144 scale. Yeah, it had to be 144 because it was too small to be one. The Saiku Zaku, like the Verka. But it was this like a hangar setup. He had little tiny crew members kind of floating around it, and small little strobing LEDs that looked like welding. It was like welding going on. It was just unreal to see in person. But it led me thinking, though, that whether or not that should have been in diorama category or not, or at least vignettes, because of the setup there. Otherwise, if you go by IPMS rules, if it's not a diorama and it's not a vignette, then you just judge the kit alone and nothing else around it. The base isn't part of that process. So, that was still unclear there, and I think that might be something that they're going to have to talk about in future, years here to kind of clearly define their categories a little bit more, especially when it comes to the mecha and the Gundam stuff. Other than that, it was a great show. I won 5. Oh, I can talk about that too. I won 5 raffle prizes, so I'll bring those up in a minute. I'll show. Looks like I'll be building some planes. I got 4 Hasagawa 172 scale single prop planes, and then one 148 Japanese. I thought it was a 0, but it's an Oscar, I think is what they call it. So that's 148. And some of them came with, in fact, the Oscar had some assembled parts already. It's like some of these things that are donated for the raffle, like they'll have a little note on there. Parts off the runners, some assembly done, and primer, whatever. And 2 of the ones that I grabbed had that, and I opened them up. They let you open them up and make sure you want it first before you take it. But it's just like, yeah, I guess I'll take it, whatever. It is what it is. If it ends up in another raffle, if I donate it, it'll just be my thing. So let me grab those kits real quick. And what's up, Jason? Jason was there. How many did I buy? I didn't buy any, Jason. I won. Everything I took home was from the raffle. I had the intentions of going, maybe finding something, but the Gundam stuff that was there was just kind of either wasn't interested or it was just too highly priced, and I decided not to buy anything. I did buy a few supplies, though. I got some tape, some 1mm masking tape, and some of those. There's one vendor there, really nice Asian couple. Their daughter was there, and I had some stickers, and she was kind of shy, and I asked her if she wanted some stickers, gave her some stickers, and she opened up and was really, really sweet after that. But I always go and see them because they've always got all the cool supplies and glue. I bought some glue, even though I probably have 4 bottles of it already. I just always end up picking up some thin cement and some panel lining stuff and some masking, things like that. So overpriced Gundam for sure. Yeah, you were there. You probably saw it. So let me scoot down to the download here. Tonight I'm going to be working back on the Amazinger since I really don't have anything. I'm not going to be starting the diorama base for the Max Battle right, and I'll explain why in a minute. So let me grab those 5 kits and I'll show those off real quick, a little show and tell. Let's see here. Slide these over. All right. So first up, we'll just start at the top here. First up is the 148. This out of the way. 148 scale Hayabusa Oscar, Japanese. I guess you can't call it 0 because it's really not a 0. So this said had a note here. Said 30% of the wings glued together, parts off the sprues. So like I said, they let you open it up, check it out, and yeah, it's got. Looks like it's already got some seam work done here, so it saved me part of the trouble. But pretty decent. I mean, every kit that I got was Hasegawa. This is also Hasegawa, so that's one of the things I look for is when this event they let you select what you want. If you win a raffle prize, you basically got all these racks to choose from, and you just tell them what you want, and you take that kit. So it looks like use some putty on the front here, but it hasn't been sanded yet. So there's still some work to do on the wings. Other than that, yeah, just everything's been already pretty much cut off with the sprues. But the instructions are here. The decals look good. Some really tiny parts there. Almost looks like landing gear. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I decide to do it. So it'd be nice to do a plane. I haven't done a plane since the F-14, but these are all single props. Okay, second up is 1/72 scale P51D, and this one's pretty much brand new. Nothing's been touched. Nothing's been cut off the sprues. It's all here. Canopies look good. The only thing that scares me, I think, on these is like the little wire work. Hey, what's up, Keel? Keel's in. He said he was going to join us, and he was not lying. So it's like the little wires that go from the tail, tail rudder up to the front, like this. This one even has a cable that, if you do it right, it actually goes through the canopy and attaches to the back of the seat of the cockpit. And that's the kind of shit that scares me. Is I don't know if those modelers use some kind of special wire or thread. To me, it seems like thread would be just too big. It's got some really nice decal sheet, including a couple of inappropriate decals. As far as the blondie girl on screen. Okay, next one is, and I thought this was, at first I wasn't sure what this was, but this is the Italian Air Force. It's a Machi MC202 Fulgor. Kind of an interesting kit there. I like the paint scheme on it. Again, not been opened. Decal sheet, everything, but this is a pretty small scale. 1/72 is tiny. It's like the propeller popped off the runner, but there's not a whole lot to these kits. There's only 2 runners, so it'd be interesting to crack into one of these days and check it out and see what it's like. Next up, again, these are all raffle prizes. Another 1/72. This is the Messerschmitt BF-109G Finnish Air Force. So George is not going to like this one, and I'll tell you why he's not going to like it for a reason. Because this must be a very old kit. Because inside, on the decal sheet, it really kind of surprised me that they have these decals. Because I know they stopped doing it on the armor kits, but yeah, there you go. Bunch of swastikas. Definitely don't do those anymore. So I don't know when this was made, but this one also had a masking set inside, die cut masking set. I think this is for, I can't tell by looking, I haven't opened it up to see, but there's a small sheet here that looks like for masking the wheels and doing a couple of things. These are really cool. I bought one of these big sets when I did the F-14, and boy, you talk about a lifesaver, having a die-cut masking set that's made for the kit you bought. There's nothing like it, and it gives you instructions on where, to place each one, where it goes, and you can really match those paint schemes just perfectly by doing that. But again, this one not opened, nothing been cut off the runners. But yeah, it's Finnish Air Force fighter using a German plane, a Messerschmitt. when I saw it, I thought it was a German plane. Well, it is a German plane, but I thought it had German markings on it. But same as both. Now, last but not least, this is the 1/72 scale Hurricane Mark I late type Battle of Britain. And this one says parts removed from sprues, resin extras, Aeromaster decals. So there's quite a few extras in here that came with it. Whoever donated this, it's got a piece of tape on it, I think. Yeah, it does. Get that tape off. Okay. So there's really a huge decal sheet in here that obviously did not come. I think this is the one that probably came with the kit, maybe even this one. Actually, I think it's the one underneath it, because that's the one that's, it says Academy. So yeah, it might be the one on top. The one on the bottom is a different one. So there's several decal sheets in here to choose from. A second canopy, replacement canopy, and then there's special Hurricane parts for, this looks like the flaps. I think you can cut the flaps open and have the flaps open in different positions. So there's, just like these here, resin wheels. There's a bunch of little tiny resin parts came extra with this. There's the canopy. There's a card. I think this is for, what's up, G1? How you doing? Look, fellas, what's going on, young guy, Mike? Yeah, right, young guy. Ha ha. Getting older every day, so I don't know what this Checkmasters, looks like a Czechoslovakian company, but it's probably one of the extra parts in here. So then we've got looks like another masking set for the canopy. That's in there. A bunch of other instructions that probably go for all the resin parts that we have. And then you get to underneath that, there's a few parts. Actually, there's even, wow, it's even got 2 sets of wings in here. So I'm not sure what came with it and what's extra. Actually, there's two full kits in here, it looks like. There's two fuselages. Must be for a different version. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So it looks like I got a bonus with a bunch of extras. Not just the resin stuff and the decals, but it looks like there might be 2 full kits in here, or at least enough to make 2. We'll see. M-Wine7, is that my wife watching on YouTube? Sneaking in and watching my show, woman? Awesome. Okay, so with that, like I said, I'm not going to do any other building tonight. As far as the diorama, I've started destruction/construction of the flooring in my room here. So this may be the last live stream I do in here for a while. If I do another live stream, it'll be in our spare office, like a temporary setup in there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream next week. We'll see. Is that a waving emoji? Because what's going to happen is the desk that I'm working on right now is going to be pulled away from the wall. What I've got to do is move everything to one side of the room, lay the flooring down, and then move everything back to that side of the room and do the second half. In theory, that's the way it's supposed to work. At least that's the plan. We're going to find out. But I've got everything that's on this desk, I think, is pretty much going to stay here. I'm going to move everything. I've already started taking a lot of my little cubbies down and moving. I pulled up some of the carpet and to see what's underneath. I think I'm going to have to buy 2 rolls of underlayment, which is it's called Quiet Walk, and it's specifically designed for this flooring, but it's also to make the floor quieter because I'm going from carpet to laminate wood floor. So in order to make it as quiet as possible, and it also helps the joints of the wood flooring, not move around as much. So I think it'll be good in the long run. A couple of rolls will cost me about $100, so I'm going to probably end up buying that too. And it's a 3-foot wide roll, so I can use it. I can put down a strip at a time, and then as I build the floor up, and pull the carpet back, I can keep just put down another layer, another row of that roll. So I think 2 rolls should cover my entire room in here. But anyway, let me put these models back, and then we'll get started working on the Amazinger again. Be right back. All right. So yeah, if you look back up here, like I'll bring up the face camera here again. If you look behind me, everything is just pushed back. All my models are out. Half the closet's empty. Everything that's on shelves is still up above the ground, but pretty much anything that's on the floor has been moved over. I've still got more to move, but yeah, it's going to be a cluster for a little while. So we'll see. No promises though next week. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try to do it, but I also want to focus on getting it done so I don't, I can spend more time building it, get back to regular projects once it's done. So I'm going to try to do it it's probably going to take me a month, to be quite honest. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's just, I've been coming home and pulling up a little bit of the carpet here and there and trying to get started, get some kind of idea how this is going to work. But I don't know. I've never done this kind of project before with stuff in the room, let alone with stuff in the room. So I'm not going to be working in an empty room. I'm sure it would be much easier if the room was empty. But you go down to the close up here. And when last we left the Amazinger a few weeks back, I finished both the arms and the head. So here we got these pieces here. So we'll set those aside, and it looks like next up is the legs. So let me just move these out of the way. And we'll start clipping some parts, clipping nubs. What's up, Manny? What's up? Oh, Julius says, Manny. Oh, Manny, I didn't see you there. How you doing, buddy? MacDio. Sorry I missed you. I was talking about the raffle prize I won. I usually do pretty good there for some reason. It's one of the things. It's nice to support the group, and I throw down a few bucks and get some raffle tickets, and always end up walking away with something. Okay, so we're doing 2 of these, 2 of everything here. It's definitely warming up here for sure. Right now, there's not really much of a breeze going. I'm going to open up these blinds a bit just to let some more airflow through. Which Gundam is this? This is not a Gundam. This is the Great Amazinger. There we go. Great Amazinger. From the Great Amazinger or Amazinger Z series. And for lack of having anything other than anything to build right at the moment, I'm just going to be snapping this, talking with everybody, hanging out. Don't forget how far parts will fly when they fall on a hardwood floor. True, I typically don't have parts flying around, but I think they're easier to find on a wood floor than they would be in the carpet. But I'm also going to have a large glass floor mat in here for my office chair. So that's going to be another expense, but it's well worth it because I don't want to chew the floors up. After spending all that time putting flooring down, I don't want my office chair just to chew it all up. So I'm going to get a nice glass mat that's going to go across. It'll go from one side. It's about, I think I measured it. I had it written down here. Oh yeah. So it's 8 feet. It's going to be 8 feet long by 40 inches wide. And that will pretty much cover all the space between the 2 desks. So when I flip around and do some airbrushing, I can just turn around and glide back, and that'll be that. So we're cutting out some ball joints here for the legs. I didn't order the glass mat yet because I wasn't sure when I was going to get to start the flooring. I've had the flooring for quite a long time now because I hadn't bought it, got it ready, and now it's in the house. It's already been climatized to the house, so it should be ready to go. Got some of these little nubs are just they're such a small gate that they just can peel right off. So, did George ever answer where he's going? He said he was driving and listening, but I never couldn't figure out if he told us what he was doing. Not that it's any of my business. Going to hide the body. Who knows what he's doing? Whoa. Yeah, it's about time to do this floor too, because what I started with in this room was I have two really large plastic, plastic mats for office mats, but they're made for carpet. But the problem is that the wheels of the office chair just eventually start digging in. If you sit in one spot, then they just sink into the carpet, and then over years and years of stress, I've had these for a while now, but I sit mostly on this side of the room instead of front. The other side is on the spray booth side, and so as I'm sitting there and I'm moving back and forth, all of a sudden now I've got these big cracks in the plastic, and now big chunks are starting to come off. It's just one of the mats is just pretty much deteriorating. So it's about time to get rid of them and put the flooring on, the actual wood flooring down, and a nice tempered glass mat. It's going to go across the entire span there, so I don't have to worry about any transitions or anything. But initially, I had those two mats, and I had to use some really high quality, thick clear Gorilla tape just to join the two, so the seam wouldn't give me an issue. And worked out well for a while, but they cost like $60 each, or $70. No, they're like $70 some each, and I just don't want to replace them again. Not when I'm going to be putting down that laminate flooring. What's up, Jonlyn? Jonlyn's in the room. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a bit. Good to have you back. Jonlyn, the queen of the Haro. I don't know if I should say that or not, but talk about all the Haros you make. All right, let's do something here. So I'm pulling 16. You're doing good. Well, that's good. Good to hear. I often don't get to keep in touch with everybody that's on these, in the chat rooms and everything. So a lot of times life gets in the way, and sometimes you lose track of where someone's at. C1 and 2. What is that? Oh, is that a purple part? Oh, it is. I gotta grab some purple parts here. All right. And this stuff on camera. This is actually not that dark, but it looks really good on camera. All right. So the bottom of the foot is what we're grabbing here. And this is purple. There are some really cool, amazing hair kits out there. And whoops, lost one of the hooks. And makes me want to buy another one, but I really don't need to buy any more kits. Although I did just get some more Macross kits from Everything Japan. I'm waiting for them to release the max version of the Quedlin Row, and then I'll have them shipped. I have another Valkyrie. I'm thinking, what else did I get? I think I got like 3 things in there. Oh yeah, I got another Myriad Quedlin Row, and then I got the max version. Waiting for that to be released in June. Hopefully my private warehouse will be fine for another month. It's supposed to be a June release, so I think they're okay with it. They give me status updates every month, but should be able to keep it in there long enough to ship them all at the same time. What's up, Lady J? It's kind of a bummer that there's not more events in this area other than just the one a year. I wish we used to have a hobby store up here called Galaxy Hobby, and they used to put on a show or a competition every year, which was kind of nice. So at least we had 2 or 3 that we could go to, but that place eventually had to close because the building owner wanted to turn it into a gym or something. And so they ended up shutting down, and unfortunately never resurfaced somewhere else. But that was one of the best little hobby stores to go get stuff at too. The owner's wife was, I think she was Japanese, but she had a lot of good connections to the Japanese manufacturers like Suji Burrito, for the chisels and all the God hand stuff. It was really kind of nice. Life definitely happens. Yes, it does. So is Jason still in the room, Mr. Davenport? Do you have any competitions down? I'm sure you do, but do you have any competitions down there in Oregon, other than or IPMS or otherwise? Just out of curiosity. So the Max Battleroid that I finished, I learned something because I don't have a professional like DSLR, or whatever camera. I use everything on my phone, and I have a Note 10 Plus, and it takes really decent pictures. But I learned something just by adjusting the lighting a little bit. I was really able to make that cell shaded scheme come to life, even more so than before. And the way I came across it was purely by accident. I was looking at a post. Somebody was posting photos from the IPMS show that they had taken, and they took a picture of the Max Battleroid using a flash, and the flash, for some reason, just made that paint scheme just kind of pop that much more. It was kind of crazy the way it completely changed it from. I mean, you could still see it on the table. You could tell it was a kit, but just looking at the picture, it was just kind of like, oh my god. So I actually had the photo booth. I still had the photo booth set up. I hadn't taken it down yet because I was taking some pictures in the morning, and then we decided to go out to lunch or do something. So I left it up. I didn't take it down. And I saw that. I was like, oh, I got to go take some more pictures. So I first used a flash, and sure enough, that worked out well too. But then I realized I could just darken the brightness just a little bit, bring the brightness down to where the point where the background would disappear and you wouldn't see the black, the black sheet basically that's hiding the background of the photo booth. And wow, what a difference! And then I posted those pictures, and they just kind of went crazy. Everybody was this supposed to sit in there? Can't tell. I guess it does. It's just like that. Interesting how this goes together. So and everybody's just going nuts over this. The photos of that thing. I think it's awesome, but I guess that's as far as that goes. Huh. Kind of interesting. Get to the sides later. Don't know yet since I just started joining the club scene. I'll find out though. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Jason. I like you're part of the sleeves or whatever. I am a member of that group, but I really don't follow it that closely. I do see a few of the things that they do. I think I'm going to have to pay a little bit more attention to them now, knowing that they pretty much whipped our asses this year up here. But rightfully so. We just need to step up our game up here, man. All right, setting these. Next up is the armor that goes around it, and those are purple as well. So I'm going to take these back off. $15 and $18, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. All right. So I'm building the feet now, it looks like. Yeesh. It's got some pretty big gates on these pieces here. Some of the pieces have really small ones, but these others are like fat gates. But, whatever. It's Bandai. It's kind of disappointing. A friend of mine brought down his Goof flight type. It was a PG conversion, resin conversion of the PG Zaku. And it had LEDs and stuff in it too. And I really thought he would have placed in the 1/100 category, but instead they gave it to the same guy that brought the two Zakus, the PG Zaku and that diorama little setup, which I thought was interesting because I know some places they'll tend to not give somebody first and second. If it's the same builder, they try to spread the wealth around a little bit. They don't give them both, but you're essentially competing with yourself. Like just like my three kits were all in Mecca. I mean, it was pretty much just competing against myself there. So I think next year, I don't know, maybe I'll reach out to that chapter and try to actually, I think these come together. I'll try to reach out to them and see if they need some more help with I guess that's how it goes. Yep. Okay, this is interesting how this goes together. There we go. Actually, I'm going to pull that back apart. There's like some of the gates I'm leaving them. I'm not sanding the nubs off because I want to put the two pieces together first and do them as a set rather than otherwise end up with a divot. But I just didn't realize the bottom one here can be done beforehand. So I'm going to try to separate this again if I can get it apart. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Where's Ghost? There we go. All right, I'm just going to sand off this bottom one. This doesn't have a active seam there that I didn't worry about. The ones in back, though, come together. We'll do those together so they get nice and flat as a set. So yeah, I'm trying to think of other ideas. I might end up putting a ceiling fan in here, which is something I don't have. The light that's on the light that's above my desk is that's what I put in here. It's a big LED panel, but the light that's in the room is just really not very bright at all. It came with the house. It's a weak ass one, you know. So I think it's time to upgrade that. So some of the stuff I'm going to have to just, you know, I'm not going to be doing as much of it in the hobby, or at least as much. I may slow down on the live streams. We'll see. Just until I get caught up. Doing great. Nice to hear, Mike. Very good to have you as always. Someone's paying me. Who's paying me? Oh, Jason is. I'll check it later, Jason. I don't know what you're sending me, but unless it's relevant to what we were talking about, I have to look at it now. You just let me know. Well, these do not want to go together. That's a tight fit. That's going to be fun coming back apart. I guess I should have cut those pegs a little bit. Oh, well. One piece fits great. The other one's going together. It's tight. Well, that one just snapped right together. Why did you do that on the other side? I don't know. All right, so here's what I was talking about. This back seam here, which of course will have to be glued later, but I like sanding both pieces at the same time, so that way I don't have a big, recessed divot there. Let me go over this with some 600 and try to polish it a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. It'll have to be cleaned later, when I go to prime it, or that's if I paint it at all. I always go in with good intentions. We'll see. I do have a few kits that are in my cabinets behind me that are unpainted, just because it was various things like this where I was in the middle of a project. I didn't have I couldn't take what I was taking, to a build gathering or something like that, because I was in the middle of painting or something like that. I just didn't have there's no way for me to do any painting remotely, so I took another kit just to take something, and then snapping it together, and then eventually it just gets built, and that's the end of it, and it sits in the cabinet unpainted. It's relevant, but no rush on checking it. Okay, thanks, Jason. We'll check it after the stream. This might be a shorter stream too, just because of the very nature of what's going on. Just it's kind of like the calm after the storm. We had, we're gearing up to the IPMS show, and then now that it's over, it's just like, okay, let's all sit back and take a deep breath and chill for a minute. All right, I got two more of these to do. This is more of the F pieces here, which is the internal frame. 13 and 14. Yep, and 15. Okay. Pretty much all in one spot right in the middle here. It's nice seeing Jason again. I haven't seen him in years. I mean, we used to work together, but I had completely forgotten what he looked like. And then it's like, oh yeah, now I know exactly who you are. It's Crazy. Small world, you know. All those years ago, and then move up here, and then ends up joining a gunplay group in Oregon, and then I don't even remember how I stumbled across my page or my live stream and asked me one day, "Is this the mic that used to work at such and such?" You know, it's like, yeah, that's me. I had a couple of people find me on Facebook like that. Yeah, you had hair then. I know. It's all right. My memory's not that good, so I don't remember what your hair looked like. Guess I'll go check out your Facebook page or something and see if we got any old photos of you. But so, did you have a good time? I hope. I know you got yourself a couple of raffle prizes too, I think, didn't you? I know there's actually one store in Seattle you can go to. I think it's called International Mall Supply. It's in Seattle, so it's kind of a pain to get to because it's in the International District, and this is not too terribly bad, but I just don't get down that way that often. But it's a small little store, and the owner used to, at least he wasn't there this year. He used to go to IPMS. I used to see him every year. But he does a lot of his own dioramas and stuff as far as Gundam stuff. I think his store is a little pricey, but I guess for lack of having another store like his available, other than maybe a Hobby Town or something like that. But it's strictly just all Gundam and all. It's that kind of store where it's not doesn't cater to, like a Hobby Town has everything from RC to RC planes, RC cars, to models, to whatever. They even have a slot car track at this one. But that was your first show. Oh, wow. That's cool. I like being there. Last year, a friend of mine, that was his first show. I don't know if you met him there. Probably introduced him to Big John. But that was his first IPMS 2 was last year. He actually entered the Gundam category. He had an out-of-box Justice, I believe. Was it Justice or yeah, I think it was Justice. No. Shit, I can't remember. It'll come to me. I thought it was Justice, but for some reason it doesn't sound right. So I'm trying to think of what it was. Well, that's good. I hope you had a good time because that's a long-ass drive for your first event. And that's where a lot of the sleeves guys went when they were done the show. They went down to International Mall Supply there in Seattle. We're shooting some live videos over there, just kind of going, oh my god, because he really does do some really cool diorama work. But I think he brought up last year. I think he had a Star Wars like a 1/4 scale Falcon, Millennium Falcon that he did. It was pretty good. I think I posted a picture of that. All right, so I'm just sanding some nubs off these, and we'll get this section of the leg here. This looks like it's the upper, I guess is the upper, yeah, this is the upper thigh that I'm doing right now, or the knee. I guess it looks like the knee and the upper thigh section as well. cutting out here. And Sandy. Came home with a bruised foot from standing all day. Then tweaked something under right scapula, putting away tables. Then I came home with a cold from there. Oh, geez. Yeah, you got to go to more super spreader events like that. And you get immune to them. You don't get sick afterward. I'm actually glad I didn't either, because it's happened to me before too. Coming back from an event, you're just like, oh man. Of course, the worst case, you're like, I hope it's not COVID. No. Yeah, just a lot of people in one room. Any length of time, it can get a little crowded. All right. Let's see. So I need one of these. Let's go in this direction. Okay. That's pretty easy. Yeah, definitely HG. There's a lot of seams to address. At least there will be a lot of seams to address on this thing. A friend of mine built this kit. I haven't seen his in person, but I'm curious to see how he dealt with all these seams. But chances are I'm never going to see it. I don't know. It's going to be a while anyway. He's stationed in Colorado right now, so I don't think he's coming back here anytime soon. Con burnout is real. I just saw that, gentlemen. Sorry I missed it earlier. Yeah, it can be. I mean, you're gearing up for it, doing all this prep and stuff. And I wasn't even sure I was going to have the Max kit done in time. I wasn't trying to get it done for the show, so I wasn't rushing it. But I figured if I got it done, I got it done. I just, once I realized I only had a few more pieces to do the cell shading on it, was like it was a good possibility. I ended up finishing it Thursday night. Okay. Beware of the tip. That's funny. Is it sharp? It actually says in here, beware of the tip. And one even says cut out cleanly. Well, good. Okay. It must fit really well if they want you to be that precise with it. So, all right. So D1, and D1. I got all D1s going on here, which is silver. Put these purple bits back on the wall. Yeah. So after this show, after this week, I'm going to really focus on getting this flooring done. It's a big project, having to do it this way. And I mean, I do have the option of moving stuff out into the spare room. I'm just trying not to do that as much because it is our office, but it's also my wife's workout room. So I can't just clog it up with piles and piles of shit. I got to be careful. So I'm trying to, it's pretty sharp. So this D1 or the D6 piece here that they're D1-6, I mean, does have a pretty sharp edge on it. So I am being aware of the tip, I guess. But anyway, so chances are I'm going to have to move a little bit out. I took my chair. I have like this nice handmade chair that I have in here that's not in the room now because that was the only thing I moved out. I put that in the other room. I'll put that in our bedroom where I have a matching set. And so that one, you might have seen it behind me in the beginning of our broadcast, sometime. But I moved that out and put that in our bedroom next to the other one. So that'll stay there until I'm finished, but probably going to be doing some custom shelving too, where my cubbies were before, because most of the stuff that I bought that I was using was just when I first moved up here, I needed something. So I bought these little shoe racks and just repurposed them, bought like 3 or 4 of these shoe racks and stacked them and then used them as little shelves for all my little drawers for tools and stuff. So now that I've got a permanent room, I think it's time to upgrade it a little bit and put some nicer stuff in, put some shelves in, maybe some adjustable stuff. I'm not sure yet what kind. I was thinking about a standalone unit, and then my wife's thinking about, maybe we should put something that has those strips on the wall that you can make adjustments to and customize it that way. I don't know. It's hard to say what's going to work best. We'll figure it out. Bruised foot, yes, it does. It does take its toll standing all day at a convention. Or a model show like that, because there's really only one other room that they have that's there's anywhere. It's kind of where the cafeteria would be. This is a community center where they do this at. So there's a gym, and there's people actually coming to the community center using it for what it's for. Other than just the event that's there. So you see people in the gym. There's big glass windows as you walk down the hallway. But they also have a cafeteria area where they serve. I think they serve hot dogs and stuff like that during the day. But that's the only place that might have actually spare chairs, that you can actually sit down in. Otherwise, you're standing the entire time, or you go out to your car like I did. I just took a break, went out to the car. I packed a lunch, so I just had some food out there. I could sit down and just chill for a minute before you end up standing again for another 2-3 hours at a time. Pretty sharp piece. I see why they pointed that out. All right, let's see how this goes. So, because this is right leg, I'm only doing one of these. So, E14. Okay, so this goes straight on like so, and then the back. It's kind of nice the way they did that seam interlocks in a way that even if there's a seam there, it's not going to matter because it looks like an intentional seam, the way they did the interlocking. Although there's a mold line right here that I'm going to get rid of. There we go. All right. It's front and back, and then on the side is this piece. Sharp ass fin. All right. Well, what time is it? 7 o'clock. We're almost about there. I guess we'll keep going. So this is C1. Yeah, 10 and 18. 10 and 19, not 18. Okay. Clunk. Sounded weird when it came off. All right. Get up there. Okay. So what's everybody else working on? Anybody else working on anything cool? Or is anybody else working on anything at all? Are we just watching? That's okay too. Let's see here. This is a little bit of a curve. So I put this, looking for one of my half rounds. There it is. Which they have a diamond file too. Where's this? There it is. So I'm going to use this instead of my flat sanding stick. It's tapered in too, and I'm trying not to scratch up the inside of this, but well, what an ugly seam right down the middle. Yeah, it's ugly. Guess I'll wait on those two nubs because that's going to be a seam anyway, so we'll sand those together. Working on demi barding. What is that? Am I reading that right? Working on the demi barding. All right. Oops. I gotta get a. Well, there's another piece that goes in the middle of this. Almost missed it. 26. So one of the nice things is there's no poly caps for this. It's all just all plastic. I mean, I don't really mind poly caps all that much. I do if I do have to paint them. That's the only thing that's a pain. But I found this stuff called Bulldog adhesion promoter. Years ago, I did a test with it. And it's usually used in the automotive industry for painting, to help paint stick to plastic or a rubber and bumper parts and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, how appropriate, right? So that's what we want. And I did a test. I actually painted 2 poly caps. First one was untreated. And then the second one, is that how that goes? Yeah. The second one was treated. This doesn't feel right. Oh, that's because I'm not doing it upside down. Wrong one. Okay, there we go. I had the wrong side. I'm going, something doesn't feel right. There, that's better. Anyway, the one, let's see. Oh, Ron, what's up, Ron? Gosh, Ron, I haven't seen you in forever either. How you doing? Working on fitting together iron jaws. Oh, Warhammer. That's right. You got the Warhammer kit the other day. You just showed that to us tonight, didn't you? Mercury HD, nice. Jason's working on Mercury HD kit. Keel's working on the Warhammer. There it is. Why did it jump up like that? Ron says I bought a can of that after you. Oh, you bought the Bulldog. Yeah, it works great. Anyway, I sprayed one with. It didn't have it. You know, it was just. Hang on, I'm trying to make sure I do this right. It was untreated, and the other one was treated, and then you could actually take you can actually take the one that was treated and just smash it, and the paint would not come off. The other one, though, you crush it, and of course, it would just flake off like every other polycap ever does. So I was really satisfied with it. The only thing you have to make sure you do, though, is you do have to have pretty good ventilation with that stuff, because it stinks. It does not smell very good. Well, that's a tight fit. When it fits together like that, kablamo. All right, so I'm going to try to take care of these nubs that are on the seam in the back of the leg. Well, at least it's in the back of the leg. And they still, and they also made it on the ridge, so that's a bonus too, because now it's easier to hide, I guess, because it's on that high ridge there, right down the middle of it. I need something bigger. Let's see. Here we go. That's doing the job way better. Bulldog adhesion promoter. Now, there might be some other stuff out there too. This was a few years ago, but I still have some of it. And I actually decanted it like I did, like I used to do my clear coats. Put it in a little jar and then use it through my airbrush. And it worked fine. It worked really good. But it does stink. Yeah, it's a little stinky. So if you ever get in that situation where you're like, gosh, I wish I could paint these polycaps, not worry about. I mean, typically most of us that build, we pose our kits when they're done and that's it. We don't mess around with them. But sometimes you got to move stuff around for transporting or taking it to a show and setting it up. So those are times where you have to move the joints and stuff like that. So in those cases, it's nice to have that adhesion promoter, knowing that if you have painted polycaps in particular, that they're not going to flake off on you. Okay, we got two more pieces for the front of this leg. The thigh, got a nice double jointed knee, so that's good. Pretty good articulation there. XS. Oh, wow. You're running an EXS, huh? MG. Nice. Is that the MG? What am I thinking of? Because I built the XS as well, but that was the older one. Is it a new kit or something? Or is that just one you use the Bulldog on? Or is that what you're working on now, Ron? Let's see. C1. C to the 1. Where is C? Oh, it's over here again. 16 and a silver one. D1. Okay. Yeah, a lot of freaking gates on that one piece. Number 5. Oh, there it is. It's a 2.0. Working out. Bulldog is those damn Providence chest hoses. Oh yeah. I imagine it would work well too on the Garadoga, because the Garadoga also has those rubber hoses. The first one, I still have another Doga in my backlog, but the first one I bought, I didn't have that stuff then. Actually, I think I might have, but instead of using those rubber hoses, I changed them out with springs, painted in gold or yellow, clear yellow, basically. So yeah, I kind of avoided using them, but I imagine that would work well on those. And one of the other reasons why I didn't use them was because they had a mold line down the middle, and there's really no way of getting rid of it. And rubber hose, it was just the worst. This big old fat mold line going down, the center of these tubes that are supposed to go all the way, all over the kit. So that was the main reason why I found another solution rather than using those. I'm sure we could have painted them, but okay. Getting down to it here. I'm going to finish this leg, and then we'll probably just end it a few minutes early here. Since there's nothing really extra special going on other than build night, the boys and girls. This is that piece that tells you to cut cleanly. Well, all right then, I'll do my best. Just trying to get the last of the, going back over these with a finer stick to kind of polish. Take my sanding and the scratches out of it. All right. Okay, so this goes on. Jeez. Straight in. Big old notches. No messing up this one. Well, I guess that's as good as it's going to get when you hear that. Fit perfectly. All right, and then the kneecap goes on right here. All right. And we got one foot. I'm kind of jumping ahead here just to pop this in, but won't stand up on its own unless you do it straight. Okay, I'm just going to finish the. Actually, what we'll do with one more piece, we'll do the knee or the hip joint. So F1. I'm going to pull this out, and then we'll call it. Okay. F1 27. Where are you? There it is. All right. And is that a black piece? No, it's the same one I have in my hand. 4 and 5. Here we are. We'll just real quickly sand and pop these together, and then we'll have one leg actually done. All right. Get that back up. These come off fairly cleanly. We don't have a lot of sanding to do here. We chase that snap like what? We chase that snap like a chiropractor trying to crack your back. Right? Want it to fit that good. Yeah, that means it's not coming apart. This might be one of those that just gets snapped and put in a case, and that's the end of it. Sadly, I think typically that's what happens to most of the kits that I just snap only because I'm, like I said, like I'm doing a project where I have to have something to build just because I'm in the middle of a paint stage or something and I can't really do anything with it. So I take something out and start snapping it, and then eventually that's what it turns into. That's all you get. It gets snapped together, goes in the case. And I guess that's okay too. right, so this goes in like this. These come together. All right. Oops, one more piece. E1. E1. Oh, it's a black piece. All right. Number 3, was it? Nope. No, wait. Yeah, nope, number 4. One small little detail piece going on here. And I just kind of get to learn a new appreciation for the larger kits, just because the pieces are so damn small in some of these HGs. Now, granted, this is a Amazinger kit, so it's a little bit bigger at 1/4 scale, I guess, than a Gundam kit might be, but still some small pieces. All right. So that goes. Look at the orientation of this. So these are asymmetrical, so they have to go on one way. Just like that. And then, oh, okay. All right, so I guess that's how that's kind of weird. It just floats there. So there you have it. One leg. Looks really dark on camera. It's not quite as dark in person. Later, Nick. See you, buddy. Thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate you every time, as always. Okay, with that, guys, we're going to call this one a little bit early. 20 after. Right now, I'm not going to get started on that second leg. I'm just going to get rid of these nubs here in the box. We'll switch over here. Let's go back to. So here's our current progress. Got 2 arms and a leg. Sort of one starting here, kind of halfway there. Again, I'm probably going to be moving my desk away from the wall today or tomorrow. If not today, definitely tomorrow. I'm going to I'm pulling the carpet up because I'm trying to put some nice hybrid laminate flooring down. It's going to be a noticeable improvement in here with that when I'm done. And see you, Keel. Nice having you. Thanks again for supporting me. Let's see. Let's go up here. All right. So thanks again, Ron, for joining in. Everybody else that was here, Jason, appreciate you. John Lynn, Mike, of course. We got Keel, he just took off. Julius, and Dolphin Burb, hit me up on Twitch. Appreciate you. And my wife, of course, she's in there, unless she's still in the room. She might be. She might not be. Manny, good seeing you. G1, good seeing you as well. I'm just going up the list here. And George Lilies, of course. And that's going to put some amazing bounce on your drop parts. That's what somebody else said earlier, Ron. I don't drop parts very often, but again, I have a mat underneath me, my floor mat that my chair rolls on anyway. So there's really not that much carpet. There will be more exposed. The new glass mat I'm going to get is going to be a little bit narrower than the plastic mats that I'm using now. But it's going to be really nice to have a glass mat that doesn't flex and crack and everything else over time. So anyway, thanks again for joining in, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. Every week, you guys support this channel. And so we're going to catch you next time. If I do a live stream next week, it will probably be in the spare room. Look for the notification. I usually try to post up the event a few days earlier than the actual, than Wednesday, like Sunday night or something like that. Sometimes I have to wait until I figure out what the subject's going to be, because I don't know where I'm at in a certain build or whatever. So that's why. You're welcome, Julius. That's why I wait sometimes till Sunday, Monday, or something like that, or even Tuesday, the last minute, if I'm going to post up. But we'll see what we do. We'll see if it happens. If I do, it'll be just probably snapping this Amazing Year kit again. It's not going to be anything too terribly special until I get the flooring done and then get working full speed again in this room. So anyway, thanks again, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. See you on the flip. And yeah, be good humans.